I actually came across the programme as part of a leadership transformational change programme. So it was in a corporate capacity. I'd read some of the literature that we received beforehand, and I thought it was going to be quite theory based, if I'm honest, and I was had a bit of trepidation about that. But whilst there's a structure for going through the programme, any fears that I had about the theoretical bit just disappeared within an hour or so. So them fears had just gone. My experience of the programme, it lasted over about a 3-day period. Well, it was a 3-day period, and my experience was something very different, something that I'd not experienced before, but to be honest, something that really fit for me at that particular point. So the experience was fantastic, and I'd like to talk a little bit more about some of the things I experienced during the workshop, if that's okay. So I think it was the journey, and it was, and whilst there was a really good structure to it, it's how you went through that journey. And for me, it was along with about 12 or 13 other senior colleagues. And the word that sort of I think about, sort of even now, when I reflect back on the programme, is absolute safety. And also in terms of what my emerging purpose was, that I knew was going to sort of like benefit me in my role as a senior manager at work, but also what I also got from it from a sort of from a home life perspective as well. I learnt loads on the programme, and actually I learnt quite a lot of there were a lot of practical based sessions that we did during the 3 days. And whilst I thought it was going to be a lot of theory based, the beauty of the programme was I was able to take away quite a lot of practical exercises that I'm just now using on a day-to-day basis. So I was on a session at work yesterday and was having a check-in session with a group of people, for example. So we've managed to start doing that on a weekly basis now. And in terms of what the team that I'm working with and managing are getting out of that, it's just a 30-minute session, something that we've never done before, but it's really working for that team, and sort of seeing people go away from those short sessions quite energized. Then that's just absolutely just one example. Another practical session that I've done with some of my colleagues that I work with, particularly some managers that I work with, is the Souk feedback session about sharing your thoughts on what may make people great, and maybe a few barriers that may not sort of like, that may sort of they need to sort of like look at to for the greatness. And that was a session that I remember really well from the day, because it gave me a really good understanding of not only how I saw myself, how I saw others, but how others saw me. And that's just a simple session that you can do and translate back into the workplace really easily. So they're just a couple of examples. I think for sort of for men to attend the workshop, and particularly in a mixed session as well, I can only say to those people, I was on a mixed session myself in that capacity, in that corporate capacity, but I don't think this is a workshop that I would hope is not just for women, because for me to benefit how I have, I'd want other men to sort of share that journey. The greatest benefit from the workshop that I experienced was, whilst I was there in a corporate capacity, I got the benefit of understanding what my purpose at work is, and particularly what my purpose is within the senior management team that I'm working. But also, from a home life perspective, I now know that what purpose I will fulfill at some point when the corporate stuff stops and everything. and I've already got that in my mind about what I want to do. So it wasn't just benefits at work, but it was benefit at home as well. In terms of how things have changed for me from an energy point of view, I don't know why it energised me so much, but I actually I've done a lot of exercise since the session, and a few weeks ago I ran a first 10k, the Blackpool 10k. So in terms of like energy and motivation at work, I can't explain why that has changed for me, but it has. And I think the biggest help it's given me during the past sort of 4 months is help drive and lead an awful lot of change at work. And whilst there's a lot of turmoil and change and emotional effects for people, for anybody attending, you might come across something called the balcony moments and things like that. And I've really been able to raise myself back to have a real calmness at work. And I think through the period of change that I've been working with colleagues to deliver as part of a leadership team, that has been really, really beneficial.